Welcome, dreamers. Today, we bring you the powerful true story of Emma Collinsa, young woman who turned her deepest pain into her greatest power and proved that no dream is ever too far if your heart simply refuses to quit. It was a crisp, cold morning in London, when 22-year-old Emma Collins stood at the starting line of the biggest race of her life, the London City Marathon. Her heart was pounding, a wild drum against her ribs. Her dreams, every single one of them, were on the line. It was more than just a race. It was the culmination of a fight she'd been waging for a year. A fight for her future, a fight for herself. Just 1 year ago, the sterile white walls of a hospital room were Emma's entire world. Her leg was bandaged, a constant, throbbing reminder of the accident that had shattered more than just bone. Doctors, their faces etched with professional sympathy, delivered the verdict. She might never run again. The words echoed in the silence, heavy and final. Hope felt like a distant memory, but in that bleak moment, her father held her hand, his grip firm and steady. His voice cut through her despair, planting a seed of defiance. "Pain is temporary," he said, his eyes locking with hers, "but quitting lasts forever." Those words became her lifeline. Back at the marathon, the starting gun fired, a sharp crack that broke the morning stillness. A wave of runners surged forward, a river of color and energy. Emma started her run slowly, deliberately. She wasn't competing against them. She was competing against the ghost of her injury, against the echo of doubt. She focused on her breathing, a steady rhythm in, out, in, out. Each footfall on the pavement was a small victory. Every step reminded her of the pain, the struggle, the countless nights she had cried herself to sleep, believing her dream was dead. But she kept going. She had to. By the 10th kilometer, the familiar ache began to creep back into her leg, a dull throb that grew with every stride. It was an old enemy, and with it came the insidious whispers of doubt. Maybe they were right. A voice in her head taunted, "Maybe you can't do this. You're not strong enough." The roar of the crowd seemed to fade, replaced by the pounding of her own uncertain heart. She felt tired, lost in a fog of pain and self-pity. But then, through the blur, she saw it. A little girl on the sidelines, holding a brightly colored sign. In big, childish letters, it read, "Run like a hero, Emma." That simple sign, held by a stranger, was like a lightning strike to her soul. It lit a fire inside her heart that the pain couldn't extinguish. A small smile touched her lips, the first genuine one in miles. The London sun, as if on cue, broke through the clouds, casting a golden glow on her path. The music of the crowd swelled, and she ran with a renewed purpose. With every painful step, she found a new mantra. "For you, Dad," she whispered to the wind. For that little girl, for every dreamer who was ever told they couldn't. She was no longer just running for herself. She was running for all of them. At the 30-kilometer mark, she hit the wall. It wasn't a gentle tap. It was a full-body collision with exhaustion. Her legs, screaming in protest, felt like lead. They refused to move. Her vision blurred at the edges. The world swam in and out of focus. Every fiber of her being screamed at her to stop. Tohust kibe. But then, she remembered her father's last words, spoken with a frail but determined voice before he passed. "Promise me," he had said. "Promise me you'll never stop running." That promise was a sacred pact, and it was stronger than the pain. Tears, hot and unstoppable, streamed down her face as she pushed through the final kilometers. They weren't tears of sadness, but of pure, raw determination. The city of London became a blur of cheering faces and outstretched hands. The world seemed to slow down as she saw the finish line, a beautiful, shimmering ribbon of hope. She crossed it, not with a burst of speed, but with the last ounce of strength she possessed. She didn't win first place. She didn't break any records, but she had won something infinitely greater than victory over herself. Over her doubts, over the girl who was told she'd never run again. Later, surrounded by reporters, a microphone was thrust in her face. "What kept you going?" someone asked. Emma, catching her breath, smiled softly, the exhaustion on her face illuminated by a profound sense of peace. Sometimes, she said, her voice clear and strong, the biggest race isn't on the track. It's the one that happens inside you, between your doubts and your dreams. And today, my dreams won. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiration. Remember, your dream is waiting for you on the other side of fear.